Welcome to Beyond the Policy, the podcast where we go past the fine print and into the real stories that shape how we live, work, and protect what matters most. I'm Matt Karaffa, risk advisor, consultant, and founder of the Be Better Foundation, where each week sit down with clients, colleagues, and industry voices to talk about business, life, and the passions that drive each of us and the areas we can all work on to truly be better. This is Beyond the Policy. All right, as we get started here with Beyond the Policy, super excited to chat with someone from one of the insurance companies we deal with. We have Nikki here, so thanks for joining. And as we get started, just a little bit about Central Insurance. Obviously, risk strategies, we've dealt with Central going back a long time, working with you on the day-to-day stuff now, but just give us a little background on your journey through insurance and how you got where you are and what you do today.
Yeah, so I started at Central 8.5 years ago. I came in as an underwriter technician, so had absolutely no background in the property casualty world before. Came in to the commercial side, did that for 3 years, jumped over to finance within the commercial line space, and then I came back into commercial lines because I really liked the underwriting side. Was a supervisor for an additional 3 years, and then a territory sales manager role opened up about a year ago, and that is what I'm currently doing right now. Is I do the northwest part of Ohio, and I am the territory sales manager, and then do some underwriting mixed in.
Awesome, great stuff. And again, I'm just as excited to talk about insurance with someone who actually understands it, as opposed to a lot of our day-to-day stuff. You know, we think it's easy to understand, but to help people understand what that truly is. And one question I want to start off with asking is, buzzword the last 4 years, a hard market.
Yes.
So to you and the company side, what does a hard market mean to you?
So a hard market is going to be when prices are increasing on the premium side of things. Typically that is going to be based on our reinsurance companies are going to be asking for more premium because there's been a catastrophic event, that there's going to be additional social inflation of products. So we are requesting to add more premium to our policies, as well as we're going to become a little bit more restrictive on what we write, and we can be a lot more selective on the risks that we take on.
Yeah, and with that, and what I explain to clients is every insurance company handles a hard market differently.
Yes.
So at the basis of what you said, higher premiums, stricter underwriting, reduced capacity, and you all handle those a little differently. So with that being said, and you know, depending on who you talk to, people say we've been in it for 5 years, some say 3. So without getting into the date that it started, but kind of managing through that. Obviously, we work together on the insurance agent and company side.
Yep.
If we talk, if we're educating or talking to a client, what would you advise or tell someone who's looking to purchase insurance? What can they do, or how could they, get through this hard market?
Yeah, so to get through it, I would say, be mindful of the risk that a business owner is taking on. If they're purchasing new property, looking at your limits, looking at what you have as stock, being mindful, reviewing your policies with somebody that understands insurance is going to be huge. And then risk management, the easier the risk is, the more that you're looking at like your loss control items, the more marketable you are. So being mindful of what a person is doing within their business, just being safer risks, because that's kind of what your insurance carrier is looking at to right in the harder markets.
Right, and that's what I always tell clients is, what are you doing proactively to help position yourself to the marketplace in a hard market to get the best pricing and the best terms. And one of my favorite things that companies look at and we, as agents have to deal with is company websites.
Yes.
Share a little bit about that.
Yeah, so everyone puts on their websites if they've done something one time, if they're able to do it, if their machinery allows them to, because we look at websites as well, because that's what we look at, holistically what they're doing. So if you put that you are able to work on an aircraft, we're looking at that as a higher liability risk, where in a hard market, just because it's on the website, we may say no, because we don't want to take on that additional liability, even if it's something they've never done or they haven't done in 15 years.
And you hit that nail on the head, because I would say 9 times out of 10, if the company comes back and says, we found this on their website, and we go to the client and say, hey, have you ever done this? Oh, we've never done that, but we thought about it. Or we did it one time. Or what? And it's not in their day-to-day business operations. But again, that goes back to what we're talking about, controlling what you can. If it's not accurate and you think it's going to help you get a job, but it hasn't, take it off.
Yep.
Because it's in a market like this, it's doing nothing but hurting you. When there's information out there, that's quick 5-minute Google search is what the companies are doing. And if it generates more questions than answers, I always advise to take it off.
Yep,
So.
I was going to say it's easier in a hard market to be a lot more selective. So the websites are the first thing that an underwriter looks at.
Yeah, I always think I have a lot of communication and thoughts around that, and it's very frustrating.
Yes.
But understand why you do it and how you do it. So one thing with the underwriting hard market, we just touched on it, technology.
Yeah.
Internet's one. What else have you and the company taken on from a technology side to help you get answers to those questions you're looking for, as well as learn about the client you're underwriting? So what, from a technology standpoint, has Central gone down?
Yeah, so we have an entire data analytics team that we work with that is taking data from what Central has, what other insurance carriers have on types of business, what their losses are, that we are able to compile all that information to kind of put it together. So that's where the data analytics piece comes in. We are also, everyone's using AI right now. Copilot is huge, that we can do a really quick search and get very detailed with a class of business or a specific insured. So using AI to pull in information that's readily available to everyone. So utilizing both of those things consistently. There's tons of different websites, but it's a lot of data driven from historical classes of business that Central's written that kind of go into factoring underwriting.
Yeah, and I think as time goes on, it's just going to be more and more prevalent of how the information is used and analyzed when it comes to underwriting, when it comes to claims, when it comes to all of those different areas. One that I know we've chatted about and used is you have some data or services that help analyze roofs.
Yeah.
And roofs are probably one of the biggest underwriting factors if we're looking at a large single location with a 20,000 square foot roof, or multiple locations. Some of the reports that come back to help guide you on that decision. And I always appreciate talking to the company, because when it's me telling the client, hey, what's the update to your roof? Oh, you don't need to know, I just bought it, I don't have that information. But if you could just leverage some thought on why that's important and kind of the technology you're using as it comes to roofs and what you look at.
Yeah, so roofing underwriting is extremely important right now. The most losses that we see are going to be weather-based events, which your roof is the first exposure that's going to get hit with weather. And so that's kind of what we look at, is if it's a flat roof, if it's shingled, what type of material it is, and using satellite imagery. Google has satellite imagery that will take multiple pictures of your roof from different spots, different locations, and it's updated anywhere from 3 to 6 times a year. And then what we utilize is it does a scoring 1 through 100 to say, based on average, what is it pooling water? Is it ponding water? Is it showing rust? Is it showing wear and tear? And then if somebody comes back and says, oh, we just purchased this building, we don't know when the roof was, you can go back historically and see when the roof changed. So we kind of have an idea of, okay, this is when updates were made. This is what we're able to do. And we all know that technology isn't perfect. So if it's questioning, we are able to do drone inspections as well. So we have somebody that will go out and take pictures of the roof with a drone and analyze it that way as well.
Yeah, and I always think it's a good place to start because it's not a perfect situation where the person we're working on insurance has owned it for 30 years and has every record meticulously placed of how much they spent and when and what they did to it. Very rarely does that happen. So I appreciate, working with the company of, here's the information that we have. this is what our questions are, and giving time to go back and find those answers and get them to you, because the more thorough we can be on that side, it's going to be better pricing, better long-term coverage. All those things get addressed initially, as opposed to we guessed on them, then we have a claim, and then everybody's fighting.
Yep. So the better documentation, the more documentation is always better. If there is somebody that goes out and looks at the roof, having that documentation readily available to an underwriter is extremely helpful.
Yeah, and I think, again, when we talk about how clients can be proactive and manage their risk, I think that is high on the list, top 3 for sure.
Absolutely.
Of what they can do on their own. A, annual roof inspection.
Yep.
B, if it's not done internally, pay someone to do it. Mm-hmm. Manage the records, and then so you have it in where it's not, a fire drill every time, the insurance renewal is coming up and we got to fight for that. So absolutely. I think that's great insight, and, not a super exciting roofs. We're talking about freaking roofs,
yeah,
but
not exciting.
In our world, super jacked up about roofs.
It is.
So anything other than, being proactive, website, getting up to date, anything else from an underwriting side, again, kind of wrap up our conversation about the hard market, about what someone who's purchasing insurance, should do or be mindful of as they move forward in that process?
I would just say being extremely mindful of, what your biggest exposure is. Knowing if it's an auto liability, if it's your product, if it's your property values, like knowing what your largest exposure is and how you can help mitigate those risks, and telling the story of what you've done, like you said, proactively to help, not have those losses in the future. And then if you have had claims, implementing safety precautions, what are you doing to help fix those going forward so it doesn't happen again?
Yeah, I think that's one I reiterate at a time. Tell your story.
Yep.
And if it's through losses, great. What have we done? This is what happened. This is how we fixed it, and this is what we're doing going forward. And as opposed to, it was bad luck. Doesn't really help.
Nope. How many times can bad luck happen? So.
Yeah, awesome. So, very good. So now that all the exciting insurance talk, as we've answered and addressed, yes. Burning questions. A couple things. We're both in business, deal with a lot of business owners, talk about them. So we'll just go through some random questions.
Okay.
What's one lesson you've learned, whether it be underwriting or your journey that you've taken to get here, that might not have to do directly with insurance, but has helped you do what you do now and manage client and manage risk?
Yeah. I would say that, having a conversation, it's 80% listening. An insured, an agent, everyone is going to tell you what they need, what they want. Filling empty space is not always the best. So learning how to be mindful, and it's not an awkward silence, but just listening. Yeah. No matter what.
One of those things, very easy to think it would be very easy to accomplish, but it's very hard to do in real life. But I think it is. That's a great one. Coffee or tea?
Coffee, all the way.
Can you drink coffee before you go to bed?
No, I have to stop at like noon. So no coffee after noon.
I could drink it at 9 o'clock and go to bed at 9:30.
Still go to bed? No.
I drink coffee all day. What is a favorite book or podcast you're listening to now that you would recommend to others?
So if I'm listening to a podcast, I don't really do it to get smarter. I love the Kylie Kelsey podcast right now. And then for book-wise, it'd be the Mel Robbins, Let Them, the Theory. I absolutely love that book.
I think, I didn't know you were going to say that. These are all off the cuff. But yesterday, I was at Costco, and that book hit me. Let Them, right? Green or white cover?
Green cover.
And my sister read it like 2 weeks ago, so I think I should just probably do that one.
You should. It's
third time.
Absolutely amazing. It's something you should definitely listen. Even if you just listen to it, I've listened to it. I've read it. I listen to her podcast. It's really, really good.
Applies to life, business, work, all things.
Everything. I was going to say, yeah, it's kind of all encompassing. Having children, same thing. It helps.
We've shared stories. You're a different journey, a little older kids, yep. But I'm sure there's some things we can relate to on that.
Yeah.
If you could spend an infinite amount of time, and it wasn't insurance or work related, what is one or two things you would do that you wish you could be better at?
Oh gosh, that I could be better at. I would love to be able to play a musical instrument of any kind. I I would love to be able to do, like, I think that's where I would spend a lot of my time.
Which instrument?
I don't think I care. It would depend. I love the piano. I love drums. Being able to, you're playing with feet, with your hands, like, it's absolutely everything. So I think probably drums or piano.
My musical days capped out 3rd grade, recorder.
Yep.
Hot cross buns.
Oh, I didn't have to do recorder, so I never had that. I did choir because I had to. So.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah, I have no musical ability.
Same. That's a good one. We talk about, insurance, people-based, business relationship-driven. What's one thing in the community that you're passionate or involved in that you appreciate when you get to give back or help others?
Yeah, so I am on our leadership board, and we do a lot with like the 5th and 6th graders that we try to get them involved into the community. I do a lot of community work with kids that are underserved, providing them lunches for the weekends. I love trying to help build those kids that don't have as much, to try to let them know that they're able to do more. So anything kid related, but the leadership class is one of my favorites.
Yeah, very cool. And I think insurance is an industry that very rewarding to the business owners and the clients that we help, but it also gives us the flexibility and things to help others in our community and outside to do some of those things. So,
yeah, I was going to say, you're able to go out and do a lot more with the kids through what you do, and kind of let them learn what insurance is, because again, it's not super exciting. It's not something that my 5th grader ever wants to do, but once she learns about it, there's exciting things about it.
Yeah, I'm picking my spots with my boys on how to educate them what insurance is, but
slowly.
I don't want to bombard them too much with exciting information.
No.
So awesome. Well, thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you.
It's great. We'll get it out there. So thanks for joining Beyond the Policy, and look forward to catching up with you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging out with me on Beyond the Policy. If you got something out of today's conversation, pass it along to a friend, client, or colleague who might enjoy it too. You can always connect with me through the show notes or on LinkedIn. And remember, the best coverage always starts with the right conversations. Until next time, be better.